Alright, another video with the 93 Civic, and I have a oil pan leak. It's been leaking for a while, and it leaks more in the cold, and the weather's starting to get cold. Now, I know it's leaking from here, but this isn't that bad. The valve cover, that's not that bad, but what's really bad is the oil pan. You can tell that, it's covered. So here's the actual oil pan, but the gasket was not put on correctly. I do not believe. This is where it's leaking from, so this is hard to get a good view. So another thing I realized is I keep watching these videos and people keep taking the exhaust off. Why do you gotta take the exhaust off? Well, when it's right here. Well, because it's right here. It's in there too. How are you gonna get to these bolts? Also, I think I gotta take this thing off too. So it should be fun. Alright, so I wanted to cheat and try to take off that nut down there. Try to take off that part of the header, but it just wasn't happening. It's too hard to reach the bolts, it's too hard to do it, so I'm taking these nuts off and can't get in there with an impact because my impact's too big. So I'm using just regular wrenches like that and taking them off one by one. Alright, that wasn't too hard. It's loose now. Just certain bolts like these, you're not going to be able to fit like a ratchet in. This one's a pain in the ass. This one actually got unscrewed, so I need to screw that back in and tighten it. But now I gotta go under the car. I gotta undo that bad boy right there, and there's another one. This should be easy though with the impact gun. Alright, so one of the bolts was being a pain in the butt, and this thing was seized. It was not coming off. I put the impact gun on it, and it was just shredding it. I was trying to get it off, so I ended up just cutting it, which actually took like 15 seconds of cutting it. So, just do that if you need to, and just get new bolts. Alright, so yeah, the header is out of there. It's on the ground over there. I just disconnected the cable. This cable right here. So there's two connections to it. There's one here, so you gotta push down on this tab, and then on the other end there's that other connection right there. So you have to push down. So I basically pushed down on this, pulled it to one side, and then I pushed down on the other tab on that thing, and I got a screwdriver and I just pried it and it came open. That way I don't have to take this off. And it comes out, it comes down, okay? So I didn't pull it up, I just wiggled it down. So now it's time to drain the oil. Turns out that there's these brackets. How did it go? Well, they're right here. I have the bolts in here so I don't lose them. But it's like two 12 millimeters and then like a 14 millimeter. You have to take those off so you can get to the rest of the bolts. And then there's another bracket that's here that you have to take off. It's these two bolts here, and it goes into this hole right here. I think this is on the transmission. In order to get to the rest of the bolts, you have to take that off. Then you gotta remove this plate. And this plate, this is really hard to do because ooh, nice. Goes in like this. So you can see you have to take out that bolt, and there's another bolt that holds it in, and then it goes out Man, I might have to jack up the car next time I do this. So I got the old pan off. Looking at the gasket, this is just stuff I tried to do to help it, but I don't know. Well, I don't think he put any RTV on it, and I know that RTV is supposed to help with the gasket sealer, so maybe that was part of the problem. Some of these holes look like they were squished. You know, I think there was a little too much force used. Maybe he didn't tighten it the right way. I don't know. Oh, there's like a dab of that, maybe that dab of that stuff in the corners. I don't know. Okay, so I put this gasket sealer, first I cleaned off the whole rim, around the whole rim, with a Scotch-Brite pad basically, and then I put this gasket sealer all around it because I don't want it to, you know, leak anymore. Then I put the gasket on. Now there's actually, you know, one side is longer than the other, so don't freak out like I did if it doesn't fit. So then I put more gasket sealer on top of it, and now supposedly I'm just gonna put it up there and should be good. Whew, I couldn't record everything. It was getting pretty crazy. I can't remember where I left off, but you know, ended up I didn't use a torque wrench because it said 10 foot-pounds online, 8 foot-pounds, and it was coming out too much on the sides. I hand tightened it first, and then I just kept going around, and using the ratchet to tighten each bolt. Looks like it's good. That's the stuff coming out the sides, which is good. Seems pretty good right now, so I'm pretty happy. I put a new bolt in here because that other one was a pain in the butt and I had to cut it. Tighten this up, so it's pretty good. Pretty happy.